One of the top 5 players of all time. Sia?
Well, maybe I would say in the world, one of the top 5 time, and present companies excluded, Roland. You can't guess either of the announcers here.
Well, I've seen him on BBO quite a few times lately, playing in the Jack matches, playing with Jimmy Kane. Could that be his new partner?
You're going to have Jimmy Kane as one of the top 5 all time. If Jimmy's listening, you just made his day. No, we're talking about Bob Hammond.
Oh, I thought you said Santi. Sorry. I thought
yeah, Santi is playing. Yeah, Santi's switching to Jimmy. Santi will play with Jimmy Kane, and David's going to be playing with Bob Hammond.
I see. Wow, that's interesting. So what happens to Bart Bremley then? Do we know, or do you know?
I don't know where the musical chairs land on that. Oh dear, look what happened here. Larson thinks that was a penalty double. I can't believe it. That is a shock. This is going to be 470.
But it looks weird. If in doubt, I mean, look at your hand. You're looking at King X in hearts. How can partner have a penalty double of hearts?
Especially when he couldn't overcall one heart. I am really surprised by this. Well, it's at least 470. We haven't seen the opening lead yet. I don't get this.
Well, it's good for the viewers. Action. Maybe not what we would have expected. 2 hearts doubled. And the spectator tells me, Larry, that she just had a look, and this isn't on your exception list.
Yeah, I can't imagine this would be on my list. I can't say I've memorized that list. I haven't looked at it in 8 years, but this can't possibly be a penalty double on anyone's list.
No, the contract is 4 clubs in the other room.
So that's about 12 imps, if I remember correctly. I think it's exactly 12 imps. 130 and 470, 600.
600 is 12, yes. At top level in USA, we also know that Garner and Howie Weinstein are back together.
They're longtime friends, good buddies, both very easygoing, friendly personalities. I like that partnership. Easy to root for them. Both very ethical, easy-going guys. So they really represent the game well.
Well, is it certain the 4 clubs makes? Well, I believe it will. But this would be the way to play clubs in 4 clubs, wouldn't it? To lead low towards the ace. I mean, you have to play the club suit for no loser.
Yeah, well, after
you could play North for the singleton jack. Yeah.
Right. You have to decide. There's 2 layouts that will work. One is a singleton king with south. The other is a singleton jack with north. So you have to see that once north shows up with a singleton diamond, you're certainly not going to play north for a singleton club as well. So you would guess it correctly.
Yes, but can't they defeat it by force? 3 rounds of diamonds and North discards 2 spades. and then you give him a spade rub.
That sounds pretty good. I think you're right. Look at this problem here. We could have 570. East, is East going to, whoops, there we go. East had a problem there with that king of hearts. Helgenbo cannot be enjoying this at all.
It's our trick, partner. What a shame, because they did.
Give them a couple of imps. What a disaster for East-West that we just saw. Oh well. One of the hardest things to do in bridge now is to shake that off and dig in for the next deal. Hogan was pretty good at that, I would say. I don't know Larson and her personality, but it's a really tough thing to do after you've had not just a bad result, but a real accident kind of result, to dig in for the next deal.
How good were you? I mean, pass missing. We know that at West passed. The operator will find out shortly. It's past one spade. How good were you, Larry, in your days? Well, I can forget it. Let's focus on the next deal.
I was medium. I mean, you know, I think Bob Hammond, who I mentioned before, was the absolute best. Some players were terrible at it, and they'd, you know, the one thing I had going for me when I played with David Berkowitz all those years is we absolutely would not discuss, not one word, not one look, nothing. So that's half the battle, is to not discuss it, you know, to just not be arguing with your partner. But mentally, I was not perfect, I have to admit. It lingered a little bit as I was playing the next deal, and that's really not good. Okay, so this trump lead here, it's kind of interesting. I always teach, when it concerns trump leads, that when the declarer ends up in his second suit, as here, it screams for a trump lead. Not so much on this auction, though, because on this auction, the dummy took a preference and could easily have 2 spades and 3 hearts and not have a roughing value, although it turns out dummy did have roughing values.
You mean if it goes 1 spade, 1 no trump, 2 hearts, all pass? Then that's a case for a trump lead.
Yeah, that's more, yeah, that's then you clearly know dummy short in spades and longer in hearts. That's more an auction where the trump lead screams for. Although here the trump lead, even though it sort of cost a trump trick, cutting down on the heart roughs and dummy was a good idea.
Yes, you're most welcome to send me private messages. I don't think Larry accepts private messages, but if you have any questions for Larry, just send them to me and I'll forward them to Larry. I think that's how I remember it, Larry, isn't it? Otherwise you'll get hundreds of private messages.
That's the way it's been in the past when, you know, there's a lot of people watching. I would get so many messages in the screen I couldn't answer, and I felt badly. So it's just easier this way. I apologize for those. You can always send me a private mail. I'm happy to answer questions, but I just can't do it while I'm talking. I'm trying to, I don't know how you can do it, Roland, all that multitasking.
Experience. And we started with voice. Sometimes happens that there's no one to join me.
It is harder to analyze, though, when you're multitasking. Like, I think I'm going to try to set the record here, Roland. I just posted a link to opening Trump lead. The game's so amazing and so beautiful from all the things that can be learned.
Would you double as West? One club pass, one spade. Would you double with 4-4 for the red suits?
Oh, I
As the move just
would.
did.
For two reasons. One, the vulnerability is favorable. Two, I like getting in when I can, and this is such a pure hand. All your points in the two suits. Oh yeah, definitely. You too, I presume, Roland. I have points in the close border. Yeah, I think I would have. I don't like having that four spades jack. The way to just compete to three hearts. So it looks like three hearts would be a make. It's a lot of handling, but and they only have to lose a club, a diamond, and a spade off the top. Maybe I would think it easily makes three hearts. And what's going to happen in spades here? Also complicated.
It is complicated. Let's see, two heart losers, two diamond losers, a club, and probably a spade also, a long spade, I think. Maybe one down. Here's a question for you, Larry. This board, after two spades and double by West, do you play to no as
With David, we sometimes still didn't know if 2-0 was natural or scrambling. We had a lot of rules, and off the top of my head, I don't know what the rule would have been on this auction. So that's a good question, and I'm
down? But as you said, I think three hearts will make easily enough, perhaps even with an overtrick. You know, diamonds are extremely friendly for declarer in a heart contract. Not only do you have the honours divided, you also have the suit 3-3.
Well, on the scrambling two-note trump, I was scrambling to find a link, and there's a bunch of them, but it's just, I think it's just too complicated. It's, I don't know, Roland, did you ever have this issue or problems with some of your partnerships, knowing whether two-note trump is natural or scrambling?
Well, two-note trump is hardly ever natural after the opponents have bid and raised. Unless it goes one spade past, three spades double, no trumps. Then three-note trumps is natural, but two-note trumps is not. In my book, it's never natural.
You know, it's good to have rules like that, and then just maybe one or two exceptions once you get to it. Okay, yeah, so two spades maybe would have made double dummy, but you know, just because West made a takeout double doesn't, on the one level, didn't mean that spades were going to be that way. So I have sympathy for it going down. So after South 3 bids 1 no trump, North has a decision here. It's kind of a so-so 11, opposite a white balanced minimum. I don't think North is going to look for game, and I think with all that spread out stuff, he should just pass maybe and not even look for a hard fit.
How about if you play two-way check back statement, two clubs, forcing two diamonds from partner, then two hearts to show an invitational hand with 5?
Well, do you think it's worth it? Do you really think it's
do.
worth it with all those jacks and queens and flat? I don't know. I don't think North's worth it, white.
Nope. It was just a suggestion, and apparently Pepsi is going down that road, isn't he? Oh, I see. That's the way he does it. Invitational with 5 hearts, I presume.
Well, in the world of white on red openers, I think Seaman Molson has an acceptance. She's got a prime 13, no 10s, but 3 9s, an ace queen, ace king. So I don't blame her for accepting. I'm guessing this is not a good game. Just let's take a look at it. Not looking at the East-West cards. Is this a good 3-0? You sort of need the heart suit. No, I've seen worse. You know, the lay of the cards is so-so. The king of diamonds is wrong, but the hearts are fairly friendly. They're 3-3 with one of the honors on side. And this lead certainly helps declare, although the spade was on side anyway. A lot of, I don't know. It's an okay game. Vulnerable, I'd be much happier. So declarer wants to lead hearts towards dummy, but there are entry issues.
Yes, that's the question, whether she should let it ride or try the jack. But it's probably right to let it ride. Once you do that, you will play on hearts, obviously.
I'm wondering,
Then diamonds
Roland,
can wait.
if she should have won the first trick with the ace of spades. What do you think of that? To keep 2 spade entries to dummy.
Interesting.
As the cards lie, the queen of clubs is an eventual entry, but I'm just wondering if she thought that was a low spade from an honor, and you know the queen of spades is with West, you get an extra entry to dummy by winning the ace of spades.
Should be a routine duck for East.
Yeah, on general principles, you would duck this ace for many reasons. You know, unless you had the setting tricks in your hand, it's just for communication purposes. it's nice on defense. I've been doing a lot of teaching on this, on not grabbing aces. And not only is it, when you're on defense, almost always a mistake to grab your ace prematurely in so many situations.
person also at the table, but you know, is a big player, a really strong player. You want to do your best, and then sometimes it backfires. You know, you're so tense that you do the wrong thing instead of your natural right.
You're on Viewgraph with Roland and Larry criticizing East at every turn. I apologize to her. I don't mean to be negative, but you know, we have to call him as we see him. I think if she had slowed down and thought it out, she would have kept that other heart.
Two clubs could be 2021 no trump, an upgrade maybe. Some play that. I'm one of those, by the way. Or maybe there isn't much of an upgrade with that hand, 19.
Well, sometimes when you've seen your partner, you know, messing up a few boards, you want to take over and play a hand. So if he wants to treat it as 2-0, you know, because if he opens a diamond, he's not as likely to be the declarer. Sometimes that happens when you're steaming and your partner has not exactly been up to snuff. You try to hog the hand. I don't want to accuse Elgamo of that, but maybe that's in the back of his mind. So what kind of a contract would 6 hearts be here? You can...
With a doubles and hearts, apparently. Yeah, maybe he should give it a try, and that would be for no Roman key card if she bids again. Although some play 4 spades as Roman key card on an auction like this. Kick back. Are you going to tell people about kickback, Larry? Maybe not.
I'll put up a link to kickback. Yeah, most experts play it because it saves space. I certainly don't recommend it to casual players. It's just too accident prone. It's just, you know, just play plain old Blackwood and live with it. The life's too short. But if you're a professional pair, you want to use 1 over the trump suit to ask for key cards. It keeps you lower. It saves room to... They have the ace, king, queen in hearts. They have the ace, king, jack in clubs. No one said this game is easy. How should they have diagnosed to play in hearts and not clubs. Not easy. And if there was a doubleton queen of clubs and 4 hearts jack offside, 6 clubs would make and 6 hearts wouldn't. So I have sympathy for this. So Helkamo is not going to like the next trick here. Whoops, this is not good. Oh well. So it's going to be down 2.
I don't think this would back in the room either. By the way, did you notice that on the first 6 boards we haven't had any duplicated contracts? And that is quite amazing. Not a single.
Well, you have an explosive pair at the other table, and the boards are definitely swingy boards, and we've seen a lot of errors, so add that all up. Roland, maybe you want to say something about the score here and how the winner of the match it's not that big a deal about the margin and the format, because I know the viewers are used to saying, okay, who's going to win the match?
Well, we used, they used the newish WBF scale, right? It's a 20-0 scale, and every imp counts. So it's better to win by 5 than by 4 and by 3. I'm not sure what you really had in mind there, Larry.
Well, just to remind everyone that this is Swiss teams. This is not like a knockout.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the winner of this match goes on and the loser goes home.
And small prices, I don't even think they get prize money. So it's like you said. I think you said that in an email to me, Larry. It's like the nationals in USA, pride and prestige. Isn't that how you put it?
Yeah, and it's not qualifying them towards anything. It's just, you know, to win a European championship. It's a lot of top players in this event, and you can be proud if you win it. So 4 hearts here on a heart finesse at worst. The heart finesse is on. That makes life easy. Pretty normal to reach it. I wonder if 2 spades, which was alerted, was fit showing. Maybe it showed spades and a heart fit.
A fit jump, yeah. Have you written about fit jumps also?
Not too much. My partner from way long ago, Marty Bergen, was famous for, I mean, he loved fit showing jumps. He wrote like 100 articles on that topic. He loves them.
So here's a question. It's basically for me, I suppose. Why are non-Europeans allowed to play in the European Championships? Well, you have to know this. We have 2 kinds of European Championships. We have the normal European Championships for countries in even years. Then in odd years, we have the European Open Championships, where everyone can participate. It's like the French Open and the US Open in tennis.
Open to the whole world. It's always, every year, odd or even. Come on, come and join us. we have our qualifying as a separate tournament. We call it the team trials, or um, something like, it's nothing to do with our open. We have 3 national championships a year that are open to everybody every year. And then it's a separate event that's closed only to North Americans to qualify, U.S. players to qualify for the World Championships.
We will get a major swing on board number 7. Remember where Helgemer was in 6 clubs at this table. Welland, as West is in 6 hearts. Because, why is he the declarer? Because the opener club, North jumped in with 3 spades, and East, Sabine Auken, bid 4 diamonds to show hearts. And then they advanced to 6 hearts. Here's a counter from the same spectator, Larry. Yeah, but in other sports the Americans have World Series that exclude all other countries. You only have USA and Canada, I think, in the World Series. That baseball, right?
Well, yeah, baseball is Toronto and 29 American teams, and then there's hockey, which has 6 Canadian teams, and
For jewelry in your book, Larry, or is it just a race to 2 spades?
I don't think it's good enough. Doubleton Queen and poor Trump. I'd say if the Doubleton Queen Arts was the Doubleton King, now I would use jewelry.
I know you have an article on jewelry as well, because I read it only yesterday.
All right, let me put up jewelry.
Yeah.
Some people think is jewelry, but it's jewelry. I believe Doug Jewelry from Canada. I'm 90% on that.
Yeah, Douglas Drury. He was fed up with his partner's feather-light openings in the 3rd seed. And I believe that partner was Eric Murray.
Okay, I think jewelry, by the way, is one of the best conventions. Certainly should be in every top 10 list. Unfortunately, it's also in the top 10 list of most forgotten conventions.
It's quite funny because you don't mention reverse jewelry, but you just take it for granted that everyone plays reverse jewelry nowadays, as far as I remember. I read it yesterday, yeah. Let's just do that. Back to trumps. Forget it, partner. Not interested. Which is not the original jewelry.
And some people play two-way jewelry, where 2 clubs is jewelry with only 3 card support, and 2 diamonds is jewelry with 4 or more trump. There's pros and cons. Morbergen swears by two-way jewelry, so that's how I was brought up.
Now, how should you play this hand, Larry? That's another question from a spectator. Just looking at the East-West cards, how would you play 4 hearts, 4 spades? So you got to play to your ace, the way Helgemer plays it. So Now you know spades are 4-1. What now?
Well, you're assuming that I would have started with a spade to begin with. This is a very complicated hand. I don't have an answer off the top of my head. I think I gave the best answer, however Helgamo plays it. Let's see, he got a club lead, and he decided to play the queen of spades out of his hand. He's short of entries to dummy. He doesn't know about the diamonds. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know about the king of hearts. A GIB button. I don't know if that's taboo or we don't talk about those things, but I think it's instructional sometimes when you're stuck here to click it, and it would tell us that the only way double dummy to make this is to lead a low spade at this point, which is far from obvious. That's because the king of hearts is 26 cards.
No, I usually don't click on GIB, but I'm pretty sure that if you click on GIB, it will also tell you that it's okay to play a diamond up because the ace of diamonds is on side.
Well, no. Well, when I clicked it, that says down one if you play a diamond. I haven't quite thought it all through as to why that's no good. Maybe they went in and play ace and a trump, I'm guessing. Trump, then declare, can draw trump, cash the good club. No, so that wouldn't set it. Well, one thing I've learned, Roland, even though I don't click it much, don't argue with it. If Gibbs says a diamond is down one, then a diamond is down one.
I believe you. Now I clicked on it just to see that you're absolutely correct, that he has to lead a low spade from hand. Well, if you lead a diamond, then maybe North can go up and lead another. Is that good enough for the defense?
Well, now Declarer can get rid of all of his hearts. So now ace of diamonds and a diamond. He wins it. He plays queen of hearts, king ace, jack hearts, rough heart, rough a diamond, or rough a heart. So why is the diamond down one? What if North ducks the diamond? So the king of diamonds wins. Now queen of hearts, king or he can.
And he found the winning line.
Right.
And
I do see.
I see
yeah,
it
Roland,
because North ducks the first diamond.
Yeah, then a club.
Then South has an entry. Yeah, and South has an entry for the club run.
Was this really part of the plan? Let's see. Now he's not getting any roughs in dummy.
No, well, North is pretty much end played. The best he can do is exit with a trump. Do you agree?
Well, he could have played a low diamond, and if declarer guessed wrong, it's instant defeat. Well, now he's just going to play for the ace of diamonds, right? And he'll be okay. That's what he's down to.
Yeah. So a diamond up. I think I can see why it could go down if you lead a diamond up. But shouldn't he have taken the
You
heart
mean at
finesse?
this point?
No, no, not now. But after he played a spade to dummy, shouldn't he? I
Yeah,
mean,
he just continued trump, planning on taking 4 spades, 3 clubs for 7, the diamond for 8, and 2 hearts for 10. I think he just played for the ace of diamonds, right? As simple as that.
yeah, but he's on the guess now.
Well, I think he was always going to, left to his own devices, he was always going to play for. Four spades, ace, 10, 9, third of hearts, a singleton club, and 5 diamonds to the ace or the queen. Would he have opened the bidding white on red dealer with his actual hand? No. Well, that's a winning guess, and even gets him an over in the process.
Wow. They always seem to get it right.
Well, it seems like he played the whole hand to play north for the ace of diamonds, and then he just got a chance to change his mind, is really what happened.
Interesting. We are on the last board of the match now. Then there will be a short break before we move on to round 5. Larry and I will be back. Thanks, Larry, for coming.
Thank you,
Most
Roland.
enjoyable.
Of reason for one over the other.
I asked Michael Rosenberg once, 7, 8 years ago. He asked, what do you do? Do you open one club or one diamond? He said yes. And
Yeah.
that's pretty much the answer. That's the agreement he had with Sear. That sometimes we open one club and sometimes we open one diamond.
Well, if we have a moment, I'll give some of the pros and cons. Meantime, we have a sort of a normal 4-heart overcall, a little aggressive, vulnerable. South has a routine reopening double, and that's, takeout / cards. And North, Pepsi, he could have just passed and hoped to set it, but one of the principles I like to use is when in doubt, if you're thinking of bidding 4 spades over 4 hearts, then just do it. Now here, one of the benefits, it turns out, of opening one diamond was Pepsi knows he has got 5 diamonds to the 10 opposite his partner's diamond length, which argues more for taking it out, whereas if his partner had opened 1 club, that would argue more.
Back to commentating, one of the all-time great teachers.
Okay, the check is in the mail. That must have been from my brother or my wife. I don't know who it came from, but thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure many appreciate your presence. Larry was also here last year for the European Championships in Budapest, but he had little time, so he only did 4 segments in the beginning, and then he was otherwise engaged, and he has more time this year, and we are very grateful. So welcome back, Larry.
Well, thank you, Roland. This is a rare month in my busy schedule where I'm actually have a little bit of time, so it's nice. I wish I could do more at the some other major tournaments. I just always seem to be on the road or on a ship or somewhere where I can't do it, so I'm looking forward to these next 10 days. I think we're going to do 4 days in a row, a day off, and then 4 more. So I hope all our voices hold out.
Well, many more. We'll have 14 days with broadcast, Larry, and you'll be on for all of them. Well, except that Wednesday when we all have a day off. Yes, and it also depends where in the world you are. I know in America most people open 1 diamond. In France they do, but not in all places in Europe. Many open 1 club, especially in Scandinavia, unless they are 1-4-4-4, because that will create a rebid problem if they open 1 club and part of response 1 spade, and they don't want to rebid 1 club with a singleton, small singleton.
We can see that there's no problem here, but from Pepsi's point of view, spades could easily be 4-1, and I'm sure that's what he was considering. There's just not much he can do about it if they were 4-1. So maybe he shrugged and just started playing ace-kings. So he's going to claim 620, and we'll be back in how long, Roland?
Half an hour, and Larry, I just that instead of maybe just saying that we're going to BBO 1, maybe I should have a look at our matches, our 4 matches, and then send you a private message, and
Okay,
we'll go there.
So we'll show up somewhere where hopefully we're wanted.
Yeah, they'll just click on our names and they'll get to that table. Thank you. Thank you everyone, and goodbye for now.